Now I realize it's a little bit dangerous to title any video the number one whatever it is, because if you don't agree with the number one, you're probably not interested in watching the rest of the video. Too late. I will promise you this, no matter where you are in a relationship, whether there's been infidelity or not, this video is going to provide some useful tools for you to evaluate the current state of your relationship. So I've had a lot of time with a lot of couples over the years working through the pain of infidelity and the process of healing and restoration, and I've discovered over time a common theme in a lot of those relationships. And that common theme, that one thing, is what I want to discuss today on Relationshots. Welcome to Relationshots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. Imagine that. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos. All right, let's talk about infidelity. Right, if you were to ask 100 married couples what's their greatest fear in their relationship, most, if not all of them, are going to say adultery. If you were to ask dating couples, do you have any deal breakers if you were to get married to a person that could end the relationship? Right at the top is probably going to be physical abuse and then infidelity. So unfaithfulness is a fear that most people have when it comes to a relationship. It's one of our greatest fears. So I think if it's one of our greatest fears, we need to talk about what are some things that cause a person to get to a place where they make a decision to step outside the relationship. I do need to throw a quick disclaimer in because I know how some of you think. Listen, first of all, the person who decides to cheat in a relationship is 100% responsible for their choice. Nobody forced them, nobody coerced them, nobody caused it. It doesn't matter how unhappy your relationship is. It doesn't matter how bad the relationship is. It doesn't matter how little your partner does to meet you in the relationship. If you decide to step outside the relationship, that's your choice. And you have to own 100% responsibility for that choice. Now that we got that covered, let's jump in. So Pew Research did a survey and found that the top 2 reasons that people get married or decide to move in with each other are for love and companionship. Basically, we desire connection. And I'm guessing that you, if you're in a relationship, desire connection with your partner. And so we need to talk about what are some things that are either going to prevent connection or cause disconnection in a relationship, because those are probably the things that position a relationship to where somebody decides, you know what, being here is not worth it. Even though I know what I'm about to do is wrong, I'm going to do it because of these unmet desires that I'm not receiving in the relationship. So we need to talk about what that is. And I believe that the number one reason that people make a decision to step into a relationship outside of their current relationship is that they don't view their current relationship as a safe place. We all desire safety and security. This is not just a women issue. Men and women both desire a place of safety and security. This is the place where you can be vulnerable. This is the place where you can share how you feel. This is the place where you can be completely you without fear of rejection, abandonment, or anything else. We're seeking that place of safety. And when that place of safety does not exist, over time, people and individuals will find themselves in a position where they really want that, and so they can start seeking that in other places. Now, some people have good boundaries, and they're able to find some of what they need in a healthy friendship of the same sex, where they're not in position where they're going to turn into something and turn into infidelity. But a lot of people don't have those boundaries. They are not watching out for those things, and they find themselves in a position where they may make a decision to step out the relationship. So what I want to address today is I want to talk about 4 areas in our relationships. These are 4 areas of safety that we're all looking for. My hopes is that you'll look at these 4 areas, you'll evaluate your current relationship in these 4 areas. If you're not in a relationship, as an individual, you'll evaluate yourself in these 4 areas to say, am I this kind of person that would provide that kind of place once in a relationship? And we can evaluate where we're at in our relationship. So the number one, first place that I want to talk about is that we need our relationship to be a safe place emotionally. What I mean by that is we all have emotions, and guess what? Emotions are often irrational. They're often illogical. They're often confusing. But we need a place to explore, express, discuss our emotions. And if you don't feel like your relationship is a safe place to do that, because when you share those emotions, you get criticized, you get judged, maybe you get attacked, you're going to decide at some point, this is not a safe place for me to share my emotions. And guess what? The emotions don't go away. You're going to need to find a safe place to share those emotions. And when you find a safe place outside of your current relationship to share the emotions, you're now building emotional intimacy with somebody other than the person you're in the committed relationship with, and that's going to lead to trouble on both sides. You are robbing your current relationship of emotional intimacy, and it's going to suffer, and you're now building what should be in your current relationship with somebody outside that relationship. That's going to put you in a difficult place. So you need to ask yourself, is my relationship a safe place emotionally for my partner? Number 2, we're looking for a safe place sexually. If a person feels used or misused sexually in a relationship, that's going to erode trust and intimacy in that relationship. If a person feels like their partner is just selfish sexually, that's going to cause them to doubt whether this other person really genuinely is committed to them and cares about the relationship. In a healthy relationship, we've got to be committed to never objectifying and never hurting the other person in the relationship sexually. That means we're not forcing them to do things they're not interested in doing. We're not shaming them. We're not criticizing them in this area in the bedroom. We're not talking about their body, on and on down the line. It's got to be a safe place sexually, because that's one of the most vulnerable places you can find yourself in a relationship. We've got to have high trust in order to have high levels of intimacy. And if it's not a safe place, I promise you, you will not be able to have healthy sexuality in the context of your marriage if you don't feel safe sexually around your spouse. So you need to ask yourself, is this relationship a safe place sexually for my spouse? The third area we need to talk about is we need a safe place to confess. Now listen, every relationship, we have situations and issues where we may do something, make a decision, not follow through on something that is going to cause our partner pain. And we have to be able to have a safe place where we can actually come to the other person and say, I messed up. I was wrong this time. I didn't do what I said I was going to do, and I apologize for that. And if you don't think that it's a safe place to do that, if you believe that your partner is going to retaliate, they're going to attack, they're going to try to be vindictive and make you pay for what you've done, guess what? You're not going to come and confess when there's a wrongdoing. And then if they find out somewhere down the road, not only are you going to get nailed for not confessing it, but now they're going to call you a liar, you're dishonest, when the reality is they may have wanted to be honest, but you don't create a safe place where they can confess and come and say, you know what, I was wrong. So a healthy relationship is one where we give each other the freedom to be truthful and honest and to confess when we get things wrong, knowing that there's a path to forgiveness and restoration when we mess up. If you don't have that, you're never going to get confession for the other person, and ultimately it's going to hurt the intimacy within the relationship. So you need to ask yourself, is this relationship a safe place for my partner to come and confess when they get something wrong? If it's not, you need to rethink how you respond to them, because you want to create an environment where you reward them for their honesty, not make them pay. And lastly, the fourth area is we need a safe place to fail. Now, it sounds a little bit like the last one, which is a safe place to confess, but it's different because this is about taking risks more than it is about being wrong and having to share where you messed up in the relationship. The reality of for every one of our lives is that we need to take risks in life in order to grow, and vocationally, relationally, personally. We need to be able to take risks. And if you know that your relationship is the place where your partner is going to encourage you, they're going to support you, they're going to cheer you on, they're going to believe in you, they're going to get behind your dreams, you're going to be willing to take risks. But if you feel like your relationship is a place where when you share those things, they're not going to support you, and you know what? Not only are they not going to support you, they're probably going to put you down, minimize you, criticize you, demean your ideas. And if you don't feel like this is a place where I can take risks and fail, and my partner will lift me up, help dust me off, and tell me to go at it again, guess what? You're gonna stop sharing your dreams, your hopes, your plans with your partner because they're not supportive of you taking risks. And guess what else you're gonna do? Those dreams are not gonna go away, so you're gonna find another place to share those dreams. And I promise you, any other place oftentimes is a better place to share the dreams, because guess what? I can share those dreams with somebody else and they're gonna support me because they have no skin in the game. Imagine I go to my wife and I say, you know what? I've got this entrepreneurial dream. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna chase this and I think it has great potential. What's my wife gonna say? Hey, hold on, buddy. Who's gonna pay the mortgage? How are we gonna take care of like the kids' sports activities, the car note, all the actual practical realities of life? She's gonna have a concern about that because my decision to jump out and take the risk is gonna adversely affect the family if it doesn't go well. If I share that same dream with Susie down at the office, guess what she's gonna say? Oh my gosh, you're brave. That's amazing. You should totally do that. You know what? You are made for this. Go for it. I'm behind you. You know why she's behind you? Because it doesn't affect her. You fall flat on your face and guess what? It does not impact her at all. So it's always easy to find a place outside of your relationship for people to support you taking risks, but we also need to do it in some ways inside the relationship. Now, again, you can't just put your head in the sand and go for everything, but you can find ways to get behind and support the other person so they feel like, you know what, this is a safe place for me to take risks because I know if I fail, then my partner's with me, they'll support me, and they'll help me get back on my feet and make it happen. So there's just 4 areas in relationship where we're looking for a safe place, and there's many others, and maybe you're thinking of some others that you wish in your relationship right now were safer. That's the point of this video, to spark some discussion with your partner in this area. So if you're watching this, I want you to ask yourself, am I a safe place in these areas for my partner? Better yet, ask your partner, do you believe I'm a safe place for you in these areas? And if they say no, don't argue with them. Don't tell them how they're wrong and you do. Listen to them, evaluate what they're saying, and make the changes so that you can be a safe place in relationship. Now, as I said at the start of the video, if somebody decides to step outside the relationship, that is 100% their choice. You didn't make them do it. But I think we can do some things in our relationships to create a safe environment in our relationship where our partner does want to connect with us that will minimize the chances that they're going to make a decision to step outside of it. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below and have a discussion about this. If you think this video would be helpful to somebody else you know, consider sharing it with a friend. And if you need a little bit of help kickstarting the connection again in your relationship, download the free guide to intimacy using the link below to the website. And I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Relationshots.